I rise today to honor Seaman First Class William W. Welch, a native of Springfield, Ohio, an American hero who laid down his life for our country during the attack on Pearl Harbor. Seaman Welch was known to his family as Billy. He enlisted in the Navy, as so many did in those days, at 17. He left during his senior year at Springfield Catholic Central High School, so determined was he to serve his country. On December 7th, 1941, Welch was stationed in the USS Oklahoma, Mr. President, docked at the U.S. Naval Base at Pearl Harbor. The Oklahoma was the first to be hit that fateful morning by the Japanese. Of the more than 1,300 crew aboard, 429 perished that day, a loss of life second only to the better-known USS Arizona. The ship capsized. Billy Welch was among the first of so many Americans to make the ultimate sacrifice for our nation during World War II. His grieving family was dealt an additional blow when their son's remains were not returned to them, and they're unable to give him a burial befitting his sacrifice. It wasn't until 1943 that the Navy was able to right the Oklahoma and began trying to identify the remains. By then, with the technology available in the 40s, it was too late for most sailors. Billy and his fellow sailors were buried as unknowns. They had rested in the National Memorial Cemetery of the Pacific in Honolulu until last year. 2014, Billy Welch's nephew, Michael, contacted my office. He was fighting with, for want of a better term, with the Department of Defense, begging them to try to identify his uncle's remains with the new technology available in 2014. He was part of a movement of families and veterans trying to piece together where their loved ones were buried and get them returned home. 2015, the Pentagon announced plans to exhume and attempt to identify the fallen sailors and soldiers buried in the Pacific. DoD began removing caskets, using dental records and DNA to identify the remains and return those fallen heroes to their families. Billy Welch was identified, and now with the help of dedicated staff in my office, next month he'll finally be returned to Springfield and buried with full military honors in his hometown. It will be my honor to stand with Seaman Welch's family at St. Joseph Catholic Church in Springfield and witness this hero be shown the honor and appreciation he deserves and that his family has been denied for so long. Billy and his fellow sailors may not have known the contribution they were making that day on the USS Oklahoma, and to future generations at home and around the world as the first to sacrifice their lives fighting tyranny in the Second World War. That makes their actions all the more heroic. There's a reason we call them the greatest generation. As we lose more and more of that generation with each passing day, we see that. Less than 700,000 World War II veterans remain with us. We lose some 430 of those heroes each day. My father, a World War II veteran, stationed in New Zealand and in Iran, what he always called Persia during World War II, passed away back in the year 2000. Projects like this one are all the more important and more timely. We need to identify these sailors and soldiers now while their loved ones are still with us and still able to pay their proper respects. We owe William Welch and all those who gave their lives for our country a burial and, equally importantly, a tribute that befits their service and their sacrifice. I will be honored to take part in that tribute for Seaman Welch next month.